Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Courtney Ryan, and today I'm going to be going over the types of guys you don't want to be when you're dating, or really at all. So I post a lot of videos about women on my channel, obviously, because my whole thing here is giving you guys a woman's perspective. But I do think it's really important in today's dating climate to have a level of accountability for yourself as well, and take a look in the mirror and make sure that you are, being the best that you can be. And more specifically here, making sure that you are being someone that a potential partner would want to be with. Be what you want to attract, right? So today I'm going to be going over the types of guys that you do not want to be when you are dating or at all. Number one, we have the fake nice guy. So you guys hear the terms all the time online. Bad boys, nice guys. We've all heard this, right? But there's a big difference between a guy who is genuinely kind and a guy who is just being fake nice in order to get what he wants. Someone who is actually nice and kind does things without expecting anything in return or solely focusing on the outcome. A fake nice guy has an agenda in mind with everything nice that he does. If you're only being nice to get something out of someone, are you really being nice in the first place? And in regards here specifically to dating, the issue that I have with this one is I see a lot of guys online like, I'm such a nice guy, I buy her flowers, I take her to dinner, I do all these things, and they never like me back, or they never want to sleep with me, or yada yada yada. And the infamous nice guys finish last quote. But the issue with a lot of these type of guys is that they're not actually being nice at all, because they're only focusing on that return or outcome, right? They're not doing things out of wanting to be kind or wanting to do something nice for someone just because they want to be kind. They're doing it because they want something in return or are expecting something. They feel entitled to something in return because they did something nice. If you're expecting something in return or feel entitled, we need to reevaluate. Now, I do think it's important to mention that your time, effort, and energy should be reciprocated in a healthy relationship, but that's not what I'm talking about here. I don't want you to continue pursuing someone who has made it clear that they don't have any interest in you, and then you sit there and say, well, nice guys finish last, blah, 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 when in reality that person just doesn't like you. But my point here is that you don't want to be the fake nice guy who is not actually kind or nice at all and is only doing something to get something in return or feel entitled. This is kind of the same as the princess mentality when you're dating, of these women who feel very entitled to things just because they're a woman. They want to be flown out, they want nice bags, they want you to take them to a very nice restaurant on the first date, and they feel entitled to those things just because they're breathing and they're a woman. You wouldn't want to date someone like that, and the fake nice guy is somewhat the equivalent. My next one here is the zero effort guy, and this one is short, sweet, and straight to the point. This one is pretty self-explanatory, obviously, but I have a few things I'd like to say. If you put no effort into yourself, your appearance, your physical and mental well-being, the dates that you take girls on, or even asking girls on dates at all, your purpose, your success, your career, everything in your life, why on earth would anybody want to be with a guy who puts in zero effort in every area of his life? I sure wouldn't, and most girls wouldn't either, unless she is also doing that, and then you guys are both just zero effort people together, which sounds pretty lame. It really does, it sounds pretty lame. And I'm not even saying you have to go all out or do anything elaborate or crazy or expensive or fancy, but just show that you care and put in some effort to yourself and the people around you. Again, very self-explanatory, but nobody would want to be with someone who is putting in no effort. Okay, my next one here is the high-value alpha male guy. This guy thinks he doesn't need to improve in any way because he's already high value. He probably came to this conclusion after watching one too many podcasts of men who are also publicly claiming to be high value. Not throwing any shade here, but if the shoe fits. It is amazing to have confidence in yourself and be secure in who you are. This is something I would recommend all of you be striving towards. But the issue that I found with the high value alpha male type of guy is that this type of guy typically doesn't have success with dating because he already thinks he's the bee's knees and has no room for improvement. And I think a big reason why these guys don't have success with dating is because they very often feed into this very negative view of women and being just very hateful and bitter towards all of women, which obviously is not going to help your dating life. It's one thing to be aware of the things that women do that maybe are not so great. I call things out like that on my channel. I hold both, genders accountable here. There's a difference between being aware of it and holding people accountable versus, hating an entire group of people. Being bitter or hateful towards every single woman on the planet is not healthy or productive. And newsflash here, we all have room for growth. Men and women alike. And if you're calling yourself high value or you're calling yourself an alpha male, you're not one. These things do not need to be announced. And I would say the same thing here about a woman who is claiming to be an independent boss babe that doesn't need no man. My next one here is the always the victim guy. And this goes back to taking accountability, as I mentioned in my intro. It's much easier to point your finger at someone else and play the victim than it is to own up and take accountability. And sadly, this is what a lot of people are doing. And I understand that there are things that are out of your control, and sometimes this is very frustrating. We can't control what happens to us, but what we can control is the way that we respond and react to it, and this says a lot about someone and their character. And I'll give you an example here in regards to dating. So as I mentioned earlier in the video, a lot of men have become very bitter and hateful towards women. And as a woman, I can sit here and honestly tell you that women do play a role in the struggles of dating. There's no ifs and or buts about this. I have mentioned this many times, specifically focusing on the very unrealistic standards that women have for men. But with that being said, I don't think that we can solely blame women. I do think it's very important to take accountability for yourself instead of just saying, well, all women are the problem. It's all women's fault and I'm not the problem at all. And I actually recently saw a clip from Jordan Peterson that I liked and I think could be helpful for a lot of you to hear, so I'm gonna play it for you really quick.
You're a young man. All the women are rejecting you. Who's got the problem? It's not all the women. It's you.
These men are unattractive to women. I don't mean just physically unattractive. I mean, women aren't seeking them as mates. They need to become men.
Yes, they certainly do.
This is
That's
what it
the
is.
solution.
That's the solution.
So basically what he's saying is not all women are the problem. If every woman is rejecting you, there's probably something that you need to work on, whether it be physically, mentally, emotionally. I know that women have unrealistic expectations. Trust me, I get it. I've interviewed many of them, and every time I walk away feeling like it just gets worse every time. It just gets worse every time. So I understand, but there are very normal women out there and women who don't have unrealistic expectations. I know you might not think that because of social media, and those are the women that you often see online are the ones that do have the unrealistic standards and expectations for men, but there are women out there who do not. A lot of the time it's a you thing. You've got something that you need to work on. Be what you want to attract. You have to be someone that a potential partner would want to be with. I mentioned this in the 0 effort guy category. Like if you're not putting any effort into your physical or mental well-being, your appearance, your career, your purpose, your life, dating, why would Sally down the street choose you over a guy who is doing all those things? I don't say that to be mean. I don't say that to be harsh, but I cannot sugarcoat this for you. I really think it's important to take a look in the mirror and take accountability for yourself, because blaming women or saying that women are the only problem and there's nothing wrong with you and you have nothing to work on will only make your life worse. It will not help you. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you that that is the case. And lastly here, we have the stage 5 clinger guy. Overly attached, overly fast. This scares a lot of women off, as it probably should, because it makes you come across as needy and desperate, which if you're doing this, you probably are. You're probably approaching dating with a scarcity mindset, and this sets you up for disaster in quite literally every way possible. For yourself, first of all, and most importantly, because you're rushing into things and you aren't even taking the time to figure out, do I like this person or do I just want them to like me, right? You're more focused on do they like me and less focused on do I even like them? So you end up with someone who you aren't compatible with, who you probably have nothing in common with, you don't share core values or you're aligned in life goals, and you rush into it because you think this is my only option, I'm not going to have another option, they have to like me, like I have to make this girl like me. And this is detrimental for you, obviously, for the reasons I just mentioned, and also that other person. Normally, it just scares the girls off. It's normal to be into someone and want to talk to them and want to spend time with them, but you don't want to be rushing into things or blowing up their phone or, again, being a stage 5 clinger. Slow and steady wins the race. Take a deep breath and take things slow. And I think this one here really comes down to the way that you feel about yourself and respecting yourself. I recently did a video about reasons why women don't respect you, and the big takeaway from that video was because you don't respect yourself. And specifically here with this stage 5 clinger guy, I think this often stems from insecurity because you aren't respecting yourself and you don't feel confident in yourself. You haven't built up your self-esteem or feel sure of yourself. So then when you're dating, the way that you feel about yourself reflects into your dating life and the way that you interact with women. So my advice for this one would be to build up your self-esteem and your confidence. The more confident and sure you are of yourself and secure in who you are, the less insecure you feel when you're dating, and women pick up on this. All right, guys, that is all I have for the types of guys you don't want to be when you're dating or at all. Let me know down in the comments what you think. If you liked this video or found it helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel to be in the loop for when I release new content. Let me know some other types of guys I missed in the comment section. If you've ever been any of these guys, let me know. Would love to hear some success stories. And if we were to flip the script here, I would love to hear a male perspective from all of you of types of women not to be when dating. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. If you haven't already, be sure to follow me over on Instagram at Courtney Christine Ryan. I love connecting with all of you guys over on there as well. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.